Hi, everyone. Welcome to Reset and Restore. We are at the end of April, so we have worked through the topic that James had picked for us, which was the nervous system toolkit. So today's class will be the last in that series, and starting next Friday for the month of May, our Reset and Restore classes will be focused on releasing physical tension. So little bit of a different agenda today. James actually wasn't available live, but he recorded a special Reset and Restore for us today. So as always, Raymond and I are on the line if you have any questions. Otherwise, we will see you at the end. Hold on just a second. Technical difficulties. I'll get this right.
Favorite class of the week, Reset and Restore. We are wrapping up our last month working directly with the nervous system, working directly with nervous system regulation. But we're not at the end of this series of Community Fit. We actually have 2 more months. So next month we are working with tension, which is how nervous system dysregulation shows up in the body as tension, sort of how we can work with that to get where we want to with stress, overwhelm, trauma, anxiety, all those things. And then the last month, we're going to work on actual rest. Now, if you're just joining us for the first time in this class is sort of class slash course. Why? Because we're working with something really specific to you. We're working with your nervous system. And if there's one thing that's true is I can't tell you how to do that. There's no one size fits all. There's just a bunch of options and choices and a little guidance on my side to get you to more self-awareness and more discernment of what choices are right for you. So over the last few weeks, we've explored numerous what I would call stress reset tools. Breath work techniques, self-touch techniques, orientation techniques, vocalization techniques, movement techniques, all sorts of stuff. And we're going to do a quick overview with some of my favorites. And then we're gonna take a pivot. We're gonna take a pivot because the meat of the matter is not the tools. Surprise. It is not. There's no 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 tools that are better than something else. Again, it's options and choices. The real meat is for you to learn which of those tools is a hammer, which of those tools is a screwdriver, proverbially, and when do you use a hammer and when do you use a screwdriver? Both are super useful tools, but they don't do each other's job. Which one is correct to do the job at hand has everything to do with the skill set of the craftsperson. You, meaning, I'm feeling some kind of way. I want my job right now is to re-regulate. Do I choose the hammer or the screwdriver? Well, I don't know. Let's explore and play here. So Again, we're going to go over a few of the tools just so that if you're new, you can latch on to what's being said. However, the tools I choose to explore are likely different than the tools you will choose. You are always more than welcome to try on what it is I'm doing, but don't feel beholden to the choices I'm making. Explore, play, use things we've covered in this class and previous classes, or things you just know, things that you've seen on the internet, read, a trusted friend or practitioner has given to you before. Give those things a try. And we're going to put it into an experiment today. We're going to try on a little bit of focusing technique and some self-actualization, some self-realization techniques. And then we're going to bring that into the pendulation technique, which is something we have played with. To remind you, those are those blue and red zones and the swinging between them. But we're wrapping up this portion with a full circle moment that will then carry through to other areas. Why? Because when we're talking stress, overwhelm, anxiety, so many of us are conditioned to believe that's solely up here in our heads. It is not. What we're offering here is a bottom-up approach, a from the body to the brain approach that honors the nervous system, in particular the vagus nerve, and in particular breathing and heart rate and the felt sense of aliveness. This will all be more and more clear as we go forward. So let's go through 3 of my favorite techniques. And then I'm going to introduce you to something we were kind of talking about, which is auto-regulation, and sort of a detailed example of that. So we'll have 4 tools to choose from as we continue on. Tool number 1, my personal favorite tool, is the physiological sigh. Together, we're going to do 3 of those. And as a refresher, physiological sigh is a double inhale, followed by a single extended exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. If you can go in through the nose, out through the mouth, all the better. You can make your first inhale big, 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 and the second inhale just like getting in what you can get in, all the better. Only you don't have to do that. So 3 times together, physiological inhale. Two more. One more. Second tool. Bring your hands together, get them warm. Going into our therapeutic touch wherever feels good to touch. Remember, this is just a warm touch somewhere on the body that would feel good. Now, 2 areas that feel particularly important for me are the jaw, sort of like a Home Alone moment, and the front of the throat. Why? Because there's some very important nerves in the jaw area that kind of go underneath some of these throat muscles that have everything to do with controlling your response to stressors. Vagus nerve, trigeminal nerve, everything to do with how safe we feel at a given moment. And the warm touch is just a reorientation to those nerves. It's new information for those nerves that says, oh, we're actually okay here, we're calm, or we have an opportunity. Why? Because if the imaginary lion were to walk into your room right now, which you absolutely would not have the time to do, is this mess. So when we choose to do self-soothing techniques, what it informs our nervous system is we actually have the time, the space, the capacity to reset, relax, restore, which overrides, well, let me put it differently, has the potential to override any other sort of anxious energy going on in the nervous system. So if this feels good, great. If this triggers you, this doesn't feel good, if the breath work doesn't feel good, You know what it does? It tells your nervous system something dangerous is happening. The imaginary lion is coming into the room. That is why one size does not fit all. Do you like it? Does the practice feel good? Does it take me in the direction I want to be taken in, which is where we're going with today's practice? Are the steps to owning and understanding the tools. Now, the last of these 4 tools are the next 2. Let's go into orientation practice. So my orientation practice, looking around the room and just objectively naming. Here it might be painting, plant, book, light, computer, mirror, door. Go a little slowly. Gaze. Let the room come to you. Intake your space. Why? Why intake? Why gaze? Well, because your environment matters. The spaces you're in matter. What I want to introduce next is a very particular version of auto-regulation, which is something we've talked about. These are the environmental factors that are stimulating our nervous system to be something we enjoy or to be something we don't enjoy. Now, so many of us, well, we're all in a particular space right now. Your space is different than mine. Let's start here. Here's the invitation. Around your space right now, look for a painting, photo, some flowers, maybe out the window at a scene. It might be your favorite tree. And if you don't have that, let's say you're in an office space, let's say you're in a space that is not yours, you didn't design it, then grab your phone and look for a favorite photo on that phone. It might be of your dog, it might be of your loved one, it might be that vacation that you took, whatever it is that you've already pinpointed, just look at that for a moment. Look at that thing. And notice how when you're looking at that thing, if it is something you enjoy, if it's something that's beautiful, it's something you like, your breathing will slow down. Your heart rate will begin to regulate. You may feel your stomach relax. You may feel more grounded. You may feel lighter or happier. Your mind may have stopped racing. I mean, any number of things. This is auto-regulation. The environment you're in, the information that's coming in from the environment is implicitly informing your nervous system all the time. Should you be excited or should you be relaxed? Should you fight, flight, and freeze, or should you settle? Now, being aware of that is also an invitation for you to start to design your spaces in a way that feels conducive to the way you want your nervous system to feel. A very prime example, if you are someone who finds yourself on a lot of WebEx, Zoom, Teams meetings, and you don't have a photo, picture, something you enjoy next to that, where you can just sort of go, okay, I'm here doing that, and I can just look over there, relax for a moment, and come back to there. I highly encourage you to do that. If in your home you don't have beautiful things, they don't have to be expensive things, but things that bring you joy, I highly encourage you to do that. If you find yourself in spaces you don't enjoy more often than not, I highly encourage you to change that. So as we continue to explore and play for the remainder of our time together today, we're going to explore and play from the lens of these 4 tools or tools of your choosing. I'm going to be phrasing the rest of the practice from these 4 tools. But if you want to do like a shaking technique, if you want to do a humming or the blue breath or something else from somewhere else, by all means, do that thing. Because now we're going to make it all make sense. What we've just highlighted are a hammer and a screwdriver in 4 different ways. That's not how to use them, right? That's not how to make good choices within them. Pendulation will take us there, but pendulation is sort of where we're going long term. There's an in-between step that most of us just have never been exposed to, and that we don't practice nearly enough. And that's self-awareness from like a physiologic standpoint. So that's where we're going to go right now. You can have your eyes open or you can have your eyes closed. Your choice. Makes no difference to me. Some people, if it's me, I would have my eyes closed. It's just easier for me to do this thing. But here we go. Sit comfortably in a chair. Where I'm about to take you is so ridiculously simple and also so hard for so many of us, because these are questions you likely have not been asked ever, or at least not a lot. And even if you have been to this class over and over and over again, you probably haven't practiced these things in the way that they need to be practiced. So here's another opportunity to practice. As you're sitting there, what is the experience of your hands right now? And if it's easier, you can choose one hand. You can say your right hand. What is the experience of your right hand right now? How are you experiencing aliveness through the lens of your right hand? See, you don't own a right hand. A right hand is not attached to you. A right hand is not something you have. A right hand is something you are. So when we enter into this practice, people's first instinct is to imagine, oh, I'm outside of my body looking at my right hand. What is the experience that right hand over there is having? Here's the actual practice. Imagine a hand or your hands as gloves, and your real hands are inside of those gloves. So the hands you would look at are just gloves. The feeling, the felt sense, focusing is inside of those hands. What do they feel like? Are they warm or are they numb or tingly? Does right hand feel heavier or lighter than left? Here's one of my favorite practices. If you're to just gently move your hands, what is the level of resistance and tension in those hands? Like, certainly I can do this, but here's like a little stickiness, little bit of resistance. If I'm to talk to you through my practice, right now, I can really feel the palm of the hand more. I feel my left hand more than my right. My back of my right hand has a little coolness, a little numbness to it. Like it feels not as deep as the left hand. Because what we're looking for is felt sense. Felt sense isn't up here. It's not making sense of it. Felt sense is just a bunch of words thrown out. Like, it's hot and it's cool. It's like sparkly, but not like fireworks sparkly, like bubbly sparkly, or whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to make sense. It is feeling sense. Now, if you're still exploring that, by all means do that. Or what would it feel like to imagine, to experience your forearms? Again, from that inside perspective, you are your forearms. Right to left, inside to outside, front to back, maybe up into your elbows, maybe the front of the bicep, the tricep, up into the shoulder, into your armpits, across your chest and collarbone and shoulder blades. Where does it get hard? Where's easy? Here's the thing, if you don't feel anything, that is actually feeling something. Oh, look at that. I feel disembodied. I feel numb. I feel neutral. I feel resistant to feel. Those are all actual things to feel. As much as I feel warm, I feel cool, I feel thick, I feel thin. Whatever it is, that is what you are feeling in the moment, and it's fine. It is the reality of what is going on right now. Now you can continue there, or you can go up into the head. The invitation again is to imagine, not from the outside, but from the inside. So, what is the experience your forehead is having? Maybe from the inside brain, looking at the back of the forehead. What is the experience your eyes are having? Do they feel like they're really outside of the head, or do they feel like they're sinking into the head? The roof of the mouth, what is that experience? The tongue, the teeth, and the jaw. How about the ears? From the inside of the ears, looking out. Maybe you're looking for a tunnel. You see the light outside the room is like light at the end of the tunnel. Does it feel narrow? Does it feel large? And again, not feeling anything or feeling ridiculous, it's feeling something. Left to right ear, back of the neck. How about your feet? What's the experience down in the feet? Now, as you continue to explore, can you find an area in your body that feels especially spacious, comfortable, relaxed, good? Something you would want to feel. Something that you would prioritize as high value. Now you can see where we're going with pendulation. I have to be able to sense into that. Because here's the question. I don't care if it's spaciousness you're looking for, comfortable, good, whatever it is. How do you know you're there? What is the felt sense, the quality of, I'm just going to use spacious. When I say spacious, hear whatever it is you're looking for in your body right now. What's the quality of spaciousness? Is it cool? Is it warm? Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? Is it does it have movement or stillness? Because being up here and going, oh, that area feels good in my brain, to imagine what that's not it. The felt sense is actually in the body. Then, where in your body feels the opposite of spacious, the opposite of comfortable, the opposite of good, the opposite of whatever it is you're looking for? Where in your body feels the opposite? And how do you know that? Is it tighter or looser? Is it more supported or more unsupported? Is it more daytime or more nighttime? Is it more shiny or more dull? Like whatever words are percolating up from that felt sense, again, we're not looking to make sense. We're looking for felt sense. And then go into that pendulation practice we were covering intensely last week of swinging back and forth. I'm going to be in that spacious area for a moment. And then I'm going to be in that not spacious area for a moment. Now, if you're someone who's already experiencing anxiety, overwhelmed, triggered, feeling some kind of way about this practice, make that pendulation quick, right? I'm feeling the good thing, feel the bad thing, I'm back to the good thing, I'm back to the bad thing, and it's quick. If you've got a little more capacity, if you've been doing these practices for a while, if you're in an okay place, maybe prolong that. I'm going to hang out in the good area for a while, the spacious area. Then I'm going to hang out in the area that feels opposite for a while. I'm going back and forth. And if you are deep into the practice, stall in the good area, swing, pendulate to the opposite area, stall there, be there, and then swing back. The better you get at it, the longer, more spacious, more prolonged you make that pendulation. Now, we'll call the first area, the comfortable spacious area, that's our blue area. The opposite area is our red area. So we're swinging, pendulating between red and blue from the lens of felt sense and focusing. What does the inside feel like? What's the quality feel like? Is it stringy? Is it velvety? Is it warm? Is it cool? What am I noticing? What would I like to be noticing? Now, pick one of your tools. It could be the breath. It could be a touch. It could be a photo. It could be our auto regulation. It could be something we've explored or whatever. Pick a tool. I'm not even going to tell you one of the tools. Pick one of the tools. If you are new to the program, you can do the physiological side. That's a double inhale followed by a single exhale. You can do the orientation, looking around the space. You can do the touch. You can pick your phone up and look at the photo. Do one of the practices. Use one of the tools. Do it again. And then go into your pendulation. I'm going to notice the blue. I'm going to notice the red. What has changed? What has shifted within that pendulation practice? What we're not looking for is for the red area to disappear, although that may have happened. What we're not looking for is for the blue area to get bigger, although that may have happened. What we're not looking for is for the pendulation to go slower or faster or easier, although that may have happened. We're not looking for anything in particular to happen. How do you know you're doing the right thing? Well, you are enjoying more whatever is happening. You're able to be present with whatever is happening. You are able to contextualize, settle into whatever is happening. If it's taking the other way, if it is making you more triggered, if you are unable to be with, if you are more upset, if you are more stressed, if you just don't like what's happening, wrong tool. So pick another tool. You tried the breathwork technique. Now maybe do this. Maybe even do this and the pendulation. And just notice what has changed. And do you prefer the way that it's changed? Now, it may be that things have gotten better. Maybe the red area is slowly disappearing. We'll even make it more anecdotal. Maybe you noticed pain in your left knee, but you felt really good in your right shoulder. Well, maybe the left knee pain has gotten more. You notice it more clearly. However, with that, you notice, oh, I can be with that pain a little bit more. It's not as shocking. It's not as triggering. Well, that's a direction that's probably pretty positive to go into. You are building capacity. Maybe that same person is now noticing the red, the knee pain is diminishing, and you like it. Well, that's probably building up some, it's settling the nervous system. That is metabolizing that pain. That sounds like something pretty good. Maybe that person with the red knee pain is now, it's more distracting. It is more painful. It is now going down into the ankle. Well, that's probably an area that you probably picked a tool that diminished capacity. You probably picked a screwdriver when the tool needed was a hammer. So pick another tool, give it a go. And then go back into your pendulation. Now again, if I can't find any blue areas, the red area is all I can find. That's where orientation comes in really, really, really handy. And especially auto-regulation orientation. Find something beautiful to look at, gaze at it, intake it, and then go back to the red area. And go back out. What we're doing is building capacity here. Interoception, what do I feel on the outside? Out into that exteroception, what is going on outside of me? What's going on inside? What's going on outside? And how do I make sense of that? How do I find the rhythm of that? that I can have an experience going on here, and there's an experience going on out there. Same thing with the red and the blue. I'm having a red experience and a blue experience. How do I hold both as true? How do I create capacity in my nervous system for both of those to happen? Because here's what happens so often. We zoom in on those red areas, and then there's a spiraling effect, which takes us, quite literally makes us unable to see blue areas or co-regulate with other people or rest. Our tension rises up. So having the tools and practicing through them is one step. Pendulation and the ability to notice both the red and the blue and toggle between and hold space for both is a final step. That self-awareness, that focusing, what is it that I am actually feeling right now? How do I make sense of this? Can I be self-aware in the moment and not be overwhelmed by it? Is the bridge in between the tool and where we're hoping to go with creating the capacity. So now we have a breadth of where we're going, right? We've got a tool, we've got the how-to guide, and we have the final model, right? And practicing, finding the few tools that work well for you, whether that's a breathwork technique, a touch technique, and we have countless videos on that. You can even just look at YouTube anywhere and find those. But the missing piece is, what am I noticing? What am I noticing? And then, can I swing between them? Or swing outside and inside? Now, hopefully you learned some stuff. And the question, as always, is what are you going to practice? What are you going to take with you? And I really hope you join us for the next few months when we talk about tension in the body. We're going to use a lot of these same tool sets with that, but we're going to address physical tension and then rest in a lot of different ways. And again, we're going to explore all these same tools. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for today. I do know that there was a question in here, and you may not have known that that was actually a recording today that James did for us because he knew he was going to be out today, this Friday. But we did have a question that she noticed, or I don't know who, if it's a he or she, it says anonymous. I noticed that when pendulating, I experienced lots of red in the throat and heart. What could that mean? So I actually don't know the answer to that. So we're going to save that for James when he comes back. But I do know that when we are working with stress and, guided imagery and meditation and whatnot, we do see colors. That's been reported a lot. So we'll definitely ask him when he comes back. But thank you, everybody, for today. Have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you on Tuesday for Move Lab Foundations. All right. Thank you. Bye, everyone.